Hi guys, it's Shamila here from Slap. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau Palette. I did a poll to see if you guys wanted to see it and 55% of you said yes. So I'm going to be testing it out for you guys today. But if you haven't subscribed already guys, please subscribe. I'd love to have you in the Slap family. And without further ado guys, here is the video. It's been a while since we had one of these long old school style palettes, but this has a new look, a new feel and a new color story, so I thought I would give it a go. I wasn't sure I was going to get this because I had a quick look at it and it didn't look as rich and deep and exciting as I thought it was going to. She's had some fantastic eyeshadow palettes in the past, like the Soft Glam palette, which is a classic. It's iconic. This one does look slightly different to her original kind of longer palettes, which had small kind of square pans. This looks like it's going to be a bit larger from the images. It looks like the pans are slightly bigger. It looks like it might be creamier. It looks like it might be softer. So I will do a side-by-side comparison, just showing you guys one of the other palette sizes so you can see it. I was very excited when I saw it launch. It looked really cool. It looked very khaki, very green. The initial picture looked a bit light, but then the in-person pictures I saw looked quite rich and like it would work for my skin tone. But then when I saw it in Space NK, I did have some reservations, so we shall see. I'm just gonna give it a go. It says, inspired by the rich hues and duochrome shades of Summer Dreams, Nouveau palettes, reinvented mattes and multi-dimensional metallics, leave everything to your imagination. So it comes in 12 shades and it says there are 3 that are not suitable for near eyes, which is quite weird considering it is an eyeshadow palette and I didn't know really where else I was supposed to put them. The shades that are not for use near eyes are Wisteria, the matte pastel, Lavender, Paloma, the matte cream ivory, and Metro, the matte rich clay. I don't know what they mean when they say near eyes. Maybe they just mean the waterline, but it is quite weird to have eyeshadows in an eyeshadow palette that aren't suitable for use near eyes. It is £48 and 55 US. Not a crazy price for an eyeshadow palette. Hopefully it is good enough to warrant that price, but when you compare it to things like Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath, then it's not that pricey at all. I'm just going to show you guys the packaging, show you some swatches, and then I'm going to get into a demo. So guys, these are the swatches on. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. I swatched a few of the shades in store and I wasn't really that inclined to buy, but swatching them at home, it feels like a lot of this palette is going to work for me, especially this section here. The packaging for me is so nice. It's so much nicer. Not that the other palettes were bad, but it's a step up. It looks even more luxurious. It looks even nicer, even more sophisticated than it did before. When you look at the old school palettes, they were all velvet, which is great, but as you can see, they do get quite dirty. Also, the difference with this is that they all used to be kind of one shade on the inside, this kind of black plasticky color, and they also used to have a room for a brush, which is something I never really used but always came with the palette. So this one here, the new one, doesn't have the brush. It's also a bit skinnier than the original, little bit skinnier. There's a bit more room on the edge here, and I guess that's because it doesn't have the brush anymore. Also, this is a 14 pan palette, this is a 12 pan palette, and as you guys could probably see, this one, the pans are a lot bigger, which I think is nice. They're a decent size. These ones aren't that small, but there would be some occasions where you'd have favorites and you'd hit pan on those quite quickly, and then the rest of the palette you just like have. So it's quite nice to have more of less. They do have a really nice consistency. They are very creamy mattes, very creamy metallics, really nice quality of shadow, and I think it's actually even better than they were before. It actually feels pretty much the same as before, but it just feels a bit more luxurious. Also, this one has the gold on the inside and the green on the outside, which represents the color story of the inside. The original ones did used to say the name of the palette on the outside. This one doesn't, it just has the ABH logo, and I guess the color of the palette itself is kind of the indicator of what the color story is inside. Also, the outside of this is a more of a jacquard kind of weave. It's much more woven. It feels like a really nice high grain product. It's really luxurious. It's not going to get stained or marked in the same way, and it feels like it's going to be a lot more durable and a lot more robust. So I think this is really nicely done. They both have a metallic close and they both have like really decent mirror sizes, so I think it's really good. I think it's a really good graduation of the brand. I feel like you can really see that this brand has grown. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try some looks. Maybe I'll try 2 or 4, I'm not sure, maybe 3, not sure, but I'm just going to start off because I feel like I should just get into it. So I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to go in with this one, Fleur. I really like this whole color story. I think it goes really well with my face, which is great. Next, I'm going to try something a bit richer, a bit smokier. I'm going to go in with Liberty. actually really like this eyeshadow palette. It's also really comfortable to hold as well when you're applying it. It fits into my hand really well and it's just like super comfortable. I really like both of these actually, and I found like they work, all shades work really well together, which was really interesting. I loved using the whole green side. That was really nice. That all worked together to create a nice smoky kind of look. And I really like the Metro, the Fleur, and the Lily together. I think they all look really nice and fresh, a bit more summery. I really like this. I feel like that's gonna be my look today. But I wanna see if I can try the other two shades on. These two standout shades here, because I feel like they'll be quite good, like semi one and done shadows, and they look like quite unique colors to this palette. So I do wanna give those a go. So I'm gonna try some more shades on. I'm basically gonna do similar things, but just try and integrate these two. So guys, those are the next two color stories, or next two eyes on. I actually really like the purple of this, the lilac. I feel like it's really, really nice and pigmented, and I haven't really ever had a matte pastel purple shadow that goes on without concealer underneath and looks so pigmented, goes on like a dream. It literally just glides along the lash line. I wasn't actually anticipating doing this, but it just kept going and I just went with it. It's really, really nice, and if I knew that's what I was going to do, I probably would have made it a bit tidier, but I really like what it's doing, and I really like how much this shows up on me, and also how easy it was to apply and use. So I think this is going to be a really fun one for summer. It's really different. It's very pastel, very 60s, and very kind of refreshing. The metallic green is really nice as well. Definitely needed a bit more lifting, but I do really like it, and I think I just need to play with it a bit more. But I think they're both really interesting, unique shades. I'm glad I got to try them. Trying the Metro a second time round, I don't know if it felt as rich as it did on the first try, but I do still really like them as base shades. The Metro and the Fleur, both really nice base shades, and both work really well underneath everything. I think that this palette definitely works really well with itself, and everything is very complementary and flattering and sits together well. So it's definitely very considered. I am really enjoying it. It definitely was a pleasant surprise. So guys, that is it. That is the brand new ABH Nouveau palette. I actually do really like this. I love the packaging of it. I love the concept. I love the updated layout. I love the fact that the pans are bigger. I really like this new look for Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I definitely feel like they're headed in the right direction. My only concern with it is that there are a few of the shades do lack a bit of punch. When I first tried Metro and Fleur, they felt a lot richer than they did the second and the third times I used them. They started to feel a bit lighter, a bit more washed out than they did when I first tried them. So I don't know if that was just me getting used to the shades and the kind of first love at first sight feeling kind of wearing off, but they definitely didn't feel as rich as they did when I first tried them. Obviously I'm not trying them with an eyeshadow primer, and if I was to use an eyeshadow primer they'd be a lot more punchy, but because I don't normally use eyeshadow primers for the most part, I like to just do it as I would normally do it, even though I know it's not really going to give me the full impact of the product. But I do have eyeshadows that I can just use on their own without using an eyeshadow primer, which is why I still test things on this basis, on the basis that if it shows up on my bare lids then it's pretty punchy. If it doesn't, then you'll probably need to kind of tweak it and make it work a bit. And I'm from the school where I kind of just believe that you should be able to just use things as they are and you shouldn't have to tweak them too much. Things like Wisteria, however, are very punchy and very pigmented and really show up with very little effort. I loved all of the shimmery shades. They're all really nice, all of the creams, all the metallics, really lovely. Lily is lovely. Hope is really nice. Peacock's pretty cool. Belle is very nice. Wings was pretty cool as well, and Muse was quite helpful. I think Muse would have been more helpful because it's a creamy shade. I think it would have been more helpful if it was actually a matte, just because I could have used it more to deepen the Metro. I did try, but because they have very different textures, it wasn't really giving it the oomph that I knew it could if it was a matte. But really nice palette nonetheless. My only concern is that the richest shade isn't that rich, and I feel like it could be a little bit richer, especially because seeing other Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes like Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam, we know that she can come up with these really nice rich shades, and I think this could have benefited from this being ever so slightly richer, but I do really like it nonetheless. So guys, that is it. That's my finished look. That is a brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. What do you think of the looks I created, and what do you think of the new style Anastasia Beverly Hills palette? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Will you be buying it? Will you be trying it? Let me know. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, please subscribe. We'd love to have you in the Slap family. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.